Welcome to College Game Day with Hick the Stick for week 12 of the college football season. Last week we had some great games. Number 17, Minnesota beat number 4, Penn State. Number 3, Alabama lost to number 2, LSU at home. Alabama now has one loss, and LSU is the number 1 team in the nation. And Iowa State almost beat Oklahoma, but missed a 2-point conversion. Oklahoma's chances of making the college football playoffs are still alive. Well, last week I went 14-1. The only game I missed was Minnesota beating Penn State, but I'm okay with that. I went 14-1. I'm hoping to do it again this week. Well, our first game, number 5, Alabama versus Mississippi State. Now, Alabama lost to LSU. But this is Alabama. They're going to bounce back this week. They're going to beat Mississippi State, probably win the rest of the season, and then they'll be sitting at the end with 11 wins and only 1 loss and still have a chance to make the college football playoffs. Alabama beats Mississippi State. Indiana versus number 9, Penn State. Penn State lost to Minnesota. Penn State got kicked out of the college football playoffs. They're now number 9. A lot of things would have to go wrong for a lot of teams for them to make the college football playoffs. But they're at home, they're going to bounce back, and they're going to beat Indiana. Penn State beats Indiana. Number 11, Florida versus Missouri. Florida is a tough team to beat this season, and Missouri is not good enough to beat Florida. Florida beats Missouri. Number 14, Wisconsin versus Nebraska. Wisconsin gets the win over Nebraska. Michigan State versus number 15, Michigan. Now, this is the battle of Michigan. The rivalry is here. Michigan State, Michigan. It's at Michigan, and it's going to be tough for both teams. It's probably going to come down to the very end, but who gets the win when it's all said and done? Well, number 15, Michigan gets the win over Michigan State. Kansas versus number 22, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State has 6 wins. They're going to a bowl game, but they want a couple more wins, so they'll go to a better bowl. And Oklahoma State is at home this week. They get the win over the Jayhawks. Number 23, Navy versus number 16, Notre Dame. A top 25 matchup. Now, Navy is not a bad team, and Notre Dame isn't either. This is going to be a battle, but I'm calling the big upset. Navy is going to beat Notre Dame. The upset is here. Upset alert. Navy beats number 16, Notre Dame. Number 2, Ohio State versus Rutgers. Ohio State, they're not losing to Rutgers. I'm sorry, Rutgers, you have no chance of beating Ohio State. Ohio State beats Rutgers. The Buckeyes get the win. Wake Forest versus number 3, Clemson. Clemson is now in the top 4 of the season, and right now, they made the college football playoffs. Clemson, all they got to do, undefeated, conference champions, and they're in the college football playoffs. Clemson gets the win over Wake Forest. Number 18, Memphis versus Houston. Memphis beats Houston. Number 8, Minnesota versus number 20, Iowa. Minnesota was number 17. They jumped all the way to number 8. Now they're in the top 10. They're playing Iowa. Number 20. Iowa has 3 losses right now, but they're at home. And Minnesota has not won in that stadium in a long time. But this is a new season, a new Golden Gopher team, and they're going to keep rowing that boat this week and beat Iowa. Minnesota gets the win over Iowa. West Virginia versus number 24, Kansas State. West Virginia, no, they're not going to win. Kansas State wins the game at home against West Virginia. Number 1, LSU versus Ole Miss. Now, LSU has beat 4 top 10 teams this season. Texas, Florida, Auburn, Alabama. They've shown that they can win those big games. And I understand this is not a big game, but it just shows this team is tough to beat. And they're not losing in this game. And if they have any chance of losing, it'll be the conference championship game. They beat Ole Miss. Number 17, Cincinnati versus USF. Cincinnati beats USF. UCLA versus number 7, Utah. Now, Utah has got 1 loss. They are cheering for Oregon. Oregon's cheering for Utah to stay with that 1 loss in the conference championship game and be 1-loss teams playing each other. Now, Utah needs to win over UCLA if they want to keep that going, and they will. They get the win over UCLA. New Mexico versus number 21 Boise State. I think Boise State is surprising a lot of teams this season. They are 8-1. These Broncos know how to play, and they're going to keep it going this week. They will beat New Mexico. Boise State beats New Mexico. Arizona versus number 6 Oregon. Oregon, they lost the very first game of the season. If they go undefeated the rest of the season, win the Pac-12 championship game, they're in the college football playoffs. I think I just don't see how you could keep them out. They would lose the very first game, but then win the rest of their games. That means they would be 12-1 by the end of the season with a Pac-12 championship. Oregon needs this win over Arizona if they want to have that happen. They get the win over Arizona. Our Longhorn game of the week, number 19, Texas versus Iowa State. Texas was not ranked last week, but then they played a ranked team last week and beat them. They beat Kansas State at home. Texas got their 6th win of the season. They are now going to a bowl, and we're excited. We're back in the rankings. We're number 19. We're playing Iowa State, who almost beat Oklahoma. Iowa State is upset. They're mad. They're at home. This will be a tough game. I'm going with my Longhorns, but it will be a very, very close game. A top 25 matchup. Number 14, Georgia versus number 12, Auburn. Now, Georgia is number 4 in the college football playoffs right now. Auburn is number 12. I think Auburn really has nothing to lose right now. They're at home. If they were not at home, I would not do this. But I'm calling the upset. Auburn is going to beat Georgia at home this week. Auburn gets the win over the number 4 team in the nation. Upset alert. Upset alert. Auburn beats Georgia. Our game of the week. Number 10, Oklahoma versus number 13, Baylor. Baylor, undefeated. Oklahoma has 1 loss. Now, this is a Big 12 matchup, and I see a high-scoring game. It's going to be close. It's going to be tough for Baylor to stop Jalen Hurts. But these Baylor Bears are hungry. They're at home in Waco. But I'm going with the Sooners. The Sooners will beat the Baylor Bears. Oklahoma wins the game over Baylor. That's all I got here on College Game Day with Hick the Stick for Week 12 of the college football season. I'll see you in Week 13 as we only got 2 more weeks before the conference championship games, the bowl games, and of course, seeing who is in the college football playoffs. I'll see you next week.